So Campbell, here we are. So next weekend is our little community Brisbane live event. This is a call out to everyone in Brisbane, northern New South Wales, anyone around the area, Sunshine Coast, New South Wales, Tweed. If you want to come and hang out with some Tartarian brothers and sisters and actually spend a whole glorious day talking nothing but Tartaria and getting everything, all your questions and all your ideas and information off your chest, well, we are offering you an amazing counselling session of Tartaria Achieving the Impossible Dream community event. And it's next Saturday, the 22nd of October. And it's in a little suburb in Brisbane called Windsor. And I haven't released the address because for obvious reasons. But
why is that?
I don't know how far people are going to travel to get involved with trying to stop these events, but I guess we could test it out. So it's at the Windsor Bowls Club, which is it's a sweet little bowls club. We've got the upstairs. I think the whole community events do well in bowls clubs. They're relaxed and social and low key, and like no one's very political, and there's always food and beers available. So they feel like a good Saturday afternoon sort of vibe. So I think we'll continue with the bowls club concept alongside our big events.
So this one's going to be a bit more casual, a bit more interactive, Q&A. Kelly will be there live, and I'll be zooming in with JC. We'll be there on a big screen to answer all your questions. And of course, this is for everyone who already has a ticket, but the venue we've got, there's actually about 20 more tickets. So if you are in the area and you do want to go, there'll be a link below. So go and grab one because they'll go fast. There's not many left.
So adult price is $44.44 and concession is $33.33. If you are someone who's been affected by the floods up and down the coastline here into the northern rivers and into the Sunshine Coast, it's $22.22. Anyway, our focus is just to get you guys together and actually be with your people and enjoy the brilliant energy boost and frequency expression and expansion of coming together with your brothers and sisters who are as interested in this topic as you, and all asking brilliant questions and really engaged with this sort of information. So I hope new friendships, Campbell, are formed.
Yeah, just non-censored, conversations, right? Being able to be yourself and just talk with your people. And, like Kelly said, connect up, and because everyone there will be from, a general region. You don't want to be too far from where you are. So that's, again, the main drive is to get people connecting, get, people forming groups, build up your tribe so that we've got people to lean on, to talk to solve problems with.
Awesome. So we're going to set up. So I'll be sort of narrating the whole thing and speaking for as long as possible. I know that the Melbourne community event, I actually turned up with no voice on the day of the event, but I struggled through like a pipsqueak, which was like listening to a little dormouse. But this time I'm in good form. I know.
This is your fourth event in the last, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, I'm becoming a professional, maybe the world's first professional Tartarian public speaker.
Tartari talker. Yeah.
Tartari talker. But anyway, so we're setting it up. So Campbell and JC are going to zoom in, hopefully first thing, and just do a live Q&A session, and just you guys can ask them anything you want. And JC is also happy to answer some questions. If you guys want to send into the comments here, any questions you have, she's happy to do a pendulum session and tune into it via the pendulum and pre-record that. So we've got some good information coming through from all the channels. And Campbell, I really wanted to have Dale Holmes at the event, and of course, we've changed the event and we've moved this to be a smaller key, and I haven't invited him. But Dale, if you're watching this and you're around the area next Saturday, fucking show up, brother. We would love that so much.
Drop by, give Kel a bit of a hand.
Yeah, because
I have contacted Dale, so I hope you've got that. But I did let him know that been put off, and we do want him there in February when the big event is going to be on in Brisbane.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
if you can't get to this one, do not fret. There's a big one coming on.
But if you want to, and any YouTubers in the area that have come across our work, you know, and you want to come and connect in also and say something about your channel or promote what you're up to, you're absolutely welcome. We love that. This is just about acknowledging all the amazing work that's gone on for the last 2 years from individuals all over Australia, putting out content. And if you are around the area, come. So it starts at 11:30. We'll go into as late as we're all there, certainly till 5. But, you know, we can stick around. Yeah. And if you're in the area, it's Windsor Bowl Club in Windsor in Brisbane. If you're staying in Brisbane, you can catch a train on platform 4 from Central Station, and it's a 10-minute straight to the venue. I think like a 3 or 4 minute walk up from the station. So very cruisy, which is the key.
Cool.
That's it.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Tickets below, link for the tickets. So get in and grab yours. Be there or be a rhombus.
Good morning, Tartaria Australia and Cambell Autodidactic. Hey, buddy. How are you?
Hey, how you go? Good.
Good.
Always.
I'm dirty. So
looking like
dirty.
You've been out there looking hard.
My hair is just full of clay. That's just what's going on here. I can't even try to brush it for the show, but here I am. I'm in my shed and I can actually like take my glasses off. Should I show you the back? So who wants to see the back of the shed? This is where I like to show my actual environment. Here we go. Let's get a. So this is actually the inside of the shed being created. Now. It's got two bedrooms and a bathroom and a mezzanine. It's very simple and humble at this moment, and a fireplace.
Humble abode.
It is a humble abode.
Awesome. That's like a mansion next to my class.
Yeah, actually it's been quite fun living in a shed, like because the whole front side of it opens up, and so you can kind of like be in nature, but it's not sealed. There's a lot of snakes here, so there's a few things, and we don't have a toilet yet. So these are my like missions now. But I've been making gardens all day.
Ah, nice. I was watching some Buckminster Fuller videos, and he was into all these different houses. And also he was looking at turning like silos and like big water tanks and stuff into houses.
Yes.
Like just, big round. Yeah. I mean, it's so cheap, right? Like compared to a house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you can have a silo office.
Yeah, well, Buckminster Fuller, we did a course working with him and the Regen Ag stuff, because he's behind Syntropic Agriculture, and it's been beautiful learning about his work. Funnily enough, he was also one of the inventors of a floating flying city concept as well. Just side note there. Yep.
It was. Yes. He had a lot of good ideas, and maps as well. He worked out the maps didn't work.
Yep.
He wasn't onto the shape flatness, but he knew it wasn't right. And of course, his 11-seater car in 1930 that did like 150 km an hour or something.
He was cool, man. He was similar to his innovative mind was similar to the amazing guy behind Future by Design. What was he called? Do you know that Future by Design?
No.
It's amazing. It's an amazing documentary on an amazing innovator and inventor, and he like reimagined housing across the world and reimagined what it could look like with innovation. Anyway, it was back in 20 years ago. I watched that stuff, but when I was looking at sort of eco living. Yeah. So hey, Cambell.
And here we are right now. That's where we're going. We're going there.
We are going there. All right. And then, Campbell, I think it's time to fly you back into a live event with me soon. Hey, like, got to get you back on stage, brother.
I know you've been doing everything yourself. Yes, yes. So, well, we'll see. We're definitely going to be doing early February in Brisbane, but who knows, right? Who knows? There's still a few months until then, so who knows what the future holds? But we'll definitely be on the stage again soon.
It's
And then
definitely
you'll be sick of me. Then it'll be every 8 weeks.
never. I mean, look, it's so cool and so fun and so great to be offering an example of just, you know, podcasters actually stepping out now and expanding out from behind the computer screen and, you know, stepping into these live events. I hope that work inspires others on their topic to do the same, because I know it's a very healing activation to get people actually together in physical settings and interacting with each other. I guess for the podcasters, this is essentially sacred work. Like, this is the sacred circle that, you know, we're creating to bring people into communion with each other. So I love them. I'm pumped.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
See, I get excited.
Yeah.
I jump.
Really? You excited? Yeah, no, that's it, guys. This is all about building community. So, you know, we encourage everyone out there who's got an audience to do the same, because that's what people want at the moment is communion, connection, and also, you know, people that on the same level, right? We're all starting to see that we're actually here, you know, to follow our passions, right? And what makes us happy, rather than working 40 hours until we die kind of thing. So whatever it is that lights you up, if you can get in that group, get out there and get them, you know. If there's other podcasters, give them a nudge, tell them to do something as well, and let's get out there.
Yeah.
And the more people that do it, then, you know, the less venues we're going to lose, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, the podcast community should become the new normal of live events. Like, it should just become a pretty standard thing. Exactly. Like, but you got to be brave, and you got to, like, trust, you know, what you're doing, and trust that you can speak and be fluent and passionate and be brave, fellas. You know, you've been training for the last 2 years, and like, you know, you can do this. You can. Yeah.
We just did it. All ad-libbed the whole thing, and it was put together in 3 weeks. Lost the venue, 5 days before, and Kel was pulling miracles out of the ether, and on the day it was absolutely just without a hitch. Literally, like 5 minutes before, I was like pulling my hair out because the computers weren't working, and I'm like,
yeah.
But it all worked. It was bizarre.
You held it, man. You held it together. You didn't lose your shit. Good on you, brother. All right, so that's Brisbane, done and dusted. So Campbell, like, you know, I wanted to, in light of Brisbane and bringing the Northern Rivers community together and acknowledging our tribe in the region that I've moved to, I thought we'd do a show, kind of doing a bit of a deep dive live. So we'll do it online live about Tartaria and basically this area that's around me now, because I guess one of my closest my gosh, there's so much sort of architecture there.
Just didn't have time. So I looked at a few pieces and I'm just like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, we've got this theme running through these towns again, right? Of the gold rush, you know, they all just ping. Gold rush, oh my God, that means, you know, buildings just pop up, foundries appear, brick factories appear, skilled labourers just appear out of the gold, and you build these amazing towns.
Yep. And, you know, I started to look at the lighthouses and obviously the town halls, and I found some interesting articles because, you know, like, and I was interested also for us to have a quick look at the Gold Coast, because I grew up in Tweed Heads in the Gold Coast, and again, didn't have my eyes on, and, you know, have kind of in my head put the Gold Coast down to a non-Tartarian area, which is interesting that it sort of like became what it's become. But then when you look from sort of Tweed Heads down the coast, down through, so like, I mean, I haven't looked at Tweed, but Lismore, Casino, Grafton, down the Clarence Valley, through to Ballina, and right through sort of that coastal line. There's evidence of Tartarian structures in every single township. Yeah, so let me show you. These are the two Northern Rivers. Byron Bay has a lighthouse, which is worth looking at. Nimbin, it's a hippie town. I think it's a new hippie town. We'll have a look. Bangalow, Ballina, Lennox Head, Brunswick's Head, Yamba, Mullumbimby, Kingscliff, Mooloolah, Tweed. Mooloolah, definitely we should look at that one. Grafton, definitely.
Yeah. I had a bit of a look at Casino. That was full of them.
Yeah.
Is it Casino? Is that a town?
Yeah, that's right? Where I live, near Casino.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean.
So is that out in the country, like a little country town?
Yeah, it's not that little. It's not as little as where I came from. All right, so this has come up, interestingly, post of July 2022. So as the flood waters went through Lismore, and it was so interesting because what the article is saying is that they've actually found, as the buildings have crumbled to the flood, that behind the buildings are all the original architecture, and that it's beautiful. They're finding original stone and wall and these original ceilings and all the, innate, innate stuff of the Tartarian realm. So that's really interesting.
Basically, the facades are falling off, like the facading, the cover-up's falling off. Cover-up's over, man.
Yeah, the cover-up. Well, look, I mean, this is a Lismore building, and as you've spoken to me before, like they've added all these banisters, these veranda-type banisters, but the original building, you can see the shape of the roof. That's very Tartarian. And like late 1800s.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So there, and look at this. So
look
they're
at
finding.
The height of that block.
Can you see that?
See that street light in front of the pub?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Is that behind plaster?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I think there's a lag between us as I'm sharing. We got a lag.
Just for change. Yes.
So yeah, that sort of stuff was behind. Is behind these walls.
Whole wall.
Yeah.
Wow. And we know, right? That's the Tartarian stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Old for those who want to get triggered.
So they basically said an interesting thing up the top here. Basically saying that these buildings, they were designed and built to withhold water, and there were truly structures that, when stripped away, Mr. Ings, he's this guy here, said the buildings, when stripped back to their original states, were clearly designed to withstand flooding. So it's all the shit that has been put on top, all the facades from our crappy materials, but the buildings themselves were designed to restore flooding. So I thought that was interesting about Lismore. Yeah.
So, I mean, wouldn't that be interesting if, just around the realm, all this facading started falling off and like literally Tartarian buildings started just appearing, everything started reverting.
That would be like the analogy of the reality crumbling and shifting in relation with timelines. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So this is, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can. Wow,
this is the Lismore Historical Society. So this is it in the flood waters, but you can see like it's very, very tartary. You see that?
Well, I mean, and this is the thing, right? All the canals, right? I mean, if all the canal systems were still there, we probably wouldn't have flooding. I mean, maybe that's why we get flooding, because they've all been filled in, right? And it was designed for the water to be there, but to be channeled.
Yep. Absolutely. The old post office.
Of course, most roads are probably canals, right? Because roads, right, as in rowboat, road.
Yes.
And they all have islands. They have islands as well, don't they? And we travel in lanes, right? Like shipping lanes.
I totally believe that. So this is the old post office.
Yeah, that looks like an airport. Gosh,
So-
you've got some next to it as well.
Yes.
Is that as big as a pig skull? That sucks.
I
Not
can't.
heritage building.
It's
That's
I'm
all
on.
right.
Yeah.
I'll do some editing wonders over the top of it, Cal.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Because my actual cool mouse that I normally use is not here anymore. So
Oh,
yeah, I'm on one of these ones. I don't even know what these are anymore. They don't do anything. They're so annoying.
my mouse has a tail.
It's so annoying. I'm used to the Mac ones, the trackpads. Whoa.
Ah, see, he's too
I'm used to
spoiled.
these ones.
What
All
is
right.
that?
All right, that's a trackpad,
I don't
man.
even know what that is.
This is an amazing
See,
mouse
I
where you
live in-
just use your fingers and you can go in and out.
Are
This
you?
is
Is that? Oh my God! No wonder you don't know what a mouse is.
this is what I
Holy
use to do all my
I
design
can't live
work.
in the past.
I can't even imagine using what this is. This is antiquated tech, man. This is way more Tartarian.
Oh God! I don't know about this stuff. I
Mate,
feel
come on,
antiquated.
Campbell. Keep it
Holy
together,
crap.
brother.
Tell you what, you turn 50 and everything changes, man. You're suddenly like in the past.
You're in the past, brother. So you can see this is Lismore still. So there's the post office and with that awesome dome structure. And then beside it, there's some quite cathedral-like buildings.
Ridiculous.
I mean, so basically they've said that Lismore is a floodplain and that everyone living there should move out, obviously. But if these buildings are here, they've been here for ages. So much longer
And if
than
it's a floodplain, why would they have built those buildings there in the first place?
Yeah. So basically they've created it, the floodplain, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Because when they've destroyed the water systems, then there's nowhere for the water to flow, right? Just sits on top of the land.
Exactly. So we'll look at this. So that's some of the original buildings. Quite Tartarian up the top there. You can see the main street. Can you see that with the flood?
Yeah. All standing up on the little, trying to get tootsies dry. But I mean, we get flooding all through, you know, I mean, it's all across the realm, but you know, Australia's the same, right? Every city and every town has their floods. And when we had it in Brisbane, when was it? Gosh, was it 10 years ago? I can't remember, you know, not that long ago, but you know, and they're like, it's the biggest flood ever. Oh my God, it's you know, it's you know, this change in the climate, shall we say, happening. And then they were showing the floods and people are walking around going, oh yeah, that line up there, you know, 12 foot, that's the line from the flood of, you know, 1960 and this. And it's like, in Brisbane, all the houses were on stilts, right? They're all built on stilts.
Yes.
I wonder why. And then everyone built underneath. They're like, oh no, we're putting a games room underneath. And then of course the floods come and all the bottom stories go under.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is one of the churches in Lismore.
Look at that, man. That's like the one in France. What's it called? You know, the one in that old, there's lots of them, you know, with the twin towers at, you know, the twin towers at the front, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's got some definitely Tartarian historical architecture.
Oh, that's a cool one. It's almost a bit Moorish, but it's like half Moorish, half power station kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And don't know. Oh, this one here has a dome on top. So there's a lot of churches in Lismore like this. So one would say maybe there was a lot of power station. Lismore was acting as some form of a power town. Lismore actually.
Well, look at the brickwork on that one.
Yeah.
Like the red, white.
Yeah.
Red and white house. Yeah.
We've been taught the idea that Lismore itself, it was just sort of like a hippie town that sort of popped up, you know, and like it just full of stoners and hippies and just kind of spread out from Byron Bay and Nimbin. Yeah. And like that, it just was this chilled out kind of colony, I guess. Oh wait, I don't think that's in Lismore, is it? I don't think so. Trumbull. No.
It's interesting that they've all got the same colour scheme, isn't it? They're all red and white.
Yes.
Just like the power station and a lot of lighthouses too, right? They have that same symbol.
So that's just a pub, basically. That's a pub in Lismore. But if you strip off that metal banister, like you're looking at basically a mud flooded Tartaria. Here we go. Like it's built on, look, mud flooded. Boom, right down. Angle.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the kind of building that you see in cities everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, where you see them wall to wall, but just without the balcony. You know.
So there's not many original pictures.
That's.
So let's go here to Pinterest, old Pinny, and see what comes up. Old photos of Lismore. So let's have a look. Whoops. So that's the wharf. The thing with Pinterest is you can't keep it on Lismore. That's lost Brisbane. All right.
Yeah, I know, it keeps changing, and then you try and go back and it's like, no, we want to give you more suggestions.
I know,
it's just show me what I want to say.
Yeah, it is frustrating for sure. What's that? Where's that? Yeah, that's Lismore's. Look at that structure in the background. I know it's small. You can't see it very well.
And that's old muddy, what's that, late 1800s probably?
1892.
There you go. So there was a flood 1892. Then we just saw one, what was it, 1964. So the flooding's regular. So if there were floods there in 1892, why did they keep building apparently all these big buildings, right? Because I haven't looked into it, but I guarantee they're going to say a lot of those buildings were built early 1900s.
Yeah.
Why would you do that if it was a floodplain?
Melbourne.
Dumb.
I know, exactly. So, and that's a really good point you just made, Campbell. I'm going to stop share on that note, because what you've just said, to reiterate that, was that we see, just as soon as you look from the late 1800s to sort of mid 1900s, every single fucking town or city has flooded, like hardcore, like every single one. I mean, I haven't researched the rest of the realm, but in Australia, for sure, it's just been like an ongoing thing. And you would think that if this was if flooding was normal from the 1800s, from the day we got here, inverted commas, all the way through to now, then would you not use those indicators to not build in those spaces? You know, like, but we don't. Like, it's just like as soon as. It's just almost like there's always a flood wherever there is a city or a town or a village. And it's crazy.
So maybe we're looking at that backwards, right? Because that's another good point, right? Like most of the flooding, and of course, you know, we hear about it more because it damages property, but literally, has anyone ever seen big pictures of flooded fields and stuff?
No.
Forests? No,
it's the towns.
It's always towns and cities. And so why would that be? Could it be that roads were all canals and they all got filled in and now there's nowhere for the water to go? And it was all sorted.
Yes.
And people have come along and filled it all in.
Yes,
and now
exactly.
It doesn't work.
And strip whatever the technology was that was managing and facilitating and guiding that flow of water, you know, like all the aqueducts were filled in, and all the areas where the water was held was blocked, and you know, like it's and water wheels. You know, we've seen a lot of water wheels in these old maps, and people wonder what stars were, and you know, pumping stations, and there's cisterns under a lot of the cathedrals. Yes,
you know, and pipe work. You know, Paul Cook's been, you know, showing this underworld, right? That's underneath our feet.
Exactly.
So you can imagine if you rip all that out and you fill in the canals, and then all the pumps are dead, so it can't pump the water around. I mean, what's going to happen when the water comes?
I wonder if there's acknowledgement of that. If we wrote in old canal, hang on. Old Canal. Oh, it's not going away. Gosh, my computer's being odd. Oh, that fell out. All right, old canals. Come on, computer.
Yeah, mine's
Okay.
being very strange. Let's,
Oh,
there we go.
Northern rivers. Let's see. Canals in Australia. Northern history. Oh wait, Northern rivers.
Of the British canal system.
New South Wales. I mean, it'll probably like show us.
Oh, there's one, the Upper Canal, an unsung hero.
Where's that? That's in Sydney.
Is it Sydney, is it? Early settlers.
Yeah, I mean, I look at.
Some locks down there, Riley's dry dock.
Well, there's Lismore in 1850s. You see a massive, like, huge ships going through, and canals like the Tweed River structure, the Tweed River into the Richmond River. They've all got massive canals, like where you can go through the whole thing on basically a boat. So it must have definitely been present. I mean, the floods. Look at that, 1921. Yeah.
Which one?
Can you see?
I saw the ship and now I'm just seeing lots. Oh, oh wow, okay. Yeah, exactly right. Floodplain where the houses are, and this is the thing, I mean, and we know all these buildings were built, to be self-sufficient basically, and as with the cities, as was everything.
Yeah.
And not to mention that all the cities were walled.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So clearly they weren't dealing with flooding. They had it fast, man, and they had a big canal around the outside.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, when you start to see, well, what's going on here. Why wouldn't you build a city like that?
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
we have things called town planners.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you be embarrassed to tell people you were a town planner? I mean, seriously, what do these people do?
I know. I don't know what they do. I've often thought about that. These people that sit in middle management jobs right now, dealing with the suburbs and the planning, like, I guess they just like continue with the deconstruction really subtly, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, because it's a money-based, this is the worst thing, is it's a money-based economy, and as we know, all the politicians are just in there to line their own pockets, so they don't care. They'll fill in canals if they can chuck 20 houses on there and, destroy stuff if they can make money. And that's, that's how they get people to do this stuff for them, right? Up the top, the agenda is different, but down the bottom, people think they're just making money, right?
Exactly.
Like bloody wheeling the wrecker, man. Oh,
exactly.
God, that dude.
Yeah. Well, look, this is the Grafton, another town in the Northern Rivers, correction centre, prison, the Gold.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's very castle-like, very structured. This is let's have a look. This was sort of the oldest drawing I could find of it. And very
similar to Fremantle,
yeah. So again, and I don't know the history of this. Let's find out. How old do they tell us it is? What are they going to tell us? All right. They're going to tell us that it was built in 1 year somewhere.
18, let me think, what do you reckon? 1872. Let's go for that.
Yeah, they'll tell. Let's have a look. So history, Grafton Gold. All right, built in 1893.
On high land in the city to replace an existing prison. Of course, already had one there.
1862. Oh, here we go. You ready? The Gold's design was based on the result of a public competition in 1891. Blah, blah, blah. With a £105 prize. Made primary brick, sandstone, and terracotta tiles. Yep. Cost £17,000. And
couldn't they change the story ever?
I know,
I mean,
I
come
know.
on.
It's so crazy. So crazy. So that's the okay, this
So how
structure,
long did it take, did you say? Was that 5 years?
let's
Did
see.
it say?
It didn't
92
say,
to
hang on.
97?
It would say,
So,
okay.
history. During the early 1890s.
You know, it doesn't say, so during during the
Doesn't.
1890s competition, the goal was built by the Holloway brothers and proclaimed on September 1893. Whatever proclaimed, what does proclaimed mean? What's proclaimed?
That you've said something, you just
Announced
say
it.
something is true, isn't it? Announcing, yeah, announce it, yeah.
Well, that's a
So
really,
someone walked up and went, you know what that is? It's literally like they've found the building and they go, what should we use that for? And someone's walked up and gone, it's a jail.
yes,
And they've
I proclaim.
proclaimed it a jail.
Yes.
It's a jail.
Interestingly enough, this jail is set to become one of Australia's biggest jails, just weirdly enough, in Australia. It's Australia's biggest prison. It's going to morph into Australia's biggest prison.
No way.
Yeah, so that's a bit trippy and freaky.
Wow, and that's it there. And see how everything's divided into 5?
Yeah.
Like you got the 4 and then the one at the top. Like 5, but that's where penitentiary comes from. 5.
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
Weird. I don't know what the significance is, but see, they're doing that. They're making it. Oh God. Well, I suppose we do have a lot of politicians, don't we?
Yeah.
But they could fill that up well.
Yeah.
They need somewhere to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We're going to put them somewhere. So that's weird. So that's the Grafton goal. Clearly, jail, clearly not built, you know, by our, this is like, you know, big solid building, man. This isn't like a tiny little pissy little jail.
No.
This is a castle. So that was interesting about Grafton. Grafton
Yeah.
has some really interesting buildings. Let me see. Grafton.
And I think it said it could only hold 72 prisoners, didn't it? And that's a lot of work for 70 dudes, like to hold 70 prisoners.
Yeah, I know. Like the 1 million lunatics that needed housing in Australia in the late 1800s. You know, they can more lunatics in Australia than normal non-lunatics. So
exactly right. And that's, you know, who were the lunatics? Were they the native? You know, were they here already?
Yeah.
And they just wouldn't, you know, wouldn't shut up.
Wouldn't deal with that.
Oh,
Yeah. Wouldn't take
who
it, man.
knows?
Wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So these are some
Wouldn't
of the
take it.
some of the heritage
We're
buildings.
going to have to do a deep dive on bush rangers. So.
On bush rangers, yeah, we should. So this is some of the heritage buildings. Not that
Again, with the
exciting.
clocks and the towers.
Yeah.
And the tin roofs, that's another thing they like to do in Australia is they put tin, like corrugated iron on roofs on everything.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course,
that's true.
that makes it Australian.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is
true,
a funny
actually.
thing, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Because when you think about, you know, Australian history and Australian in the outback, it was all corrugated iron, wasn't it? And and fencing wire and metal stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's
where
true.
are all the mines producing this?
That's true. It was.
Like,
and all
where did
the
it all come
banisters.
from?
Yep.
Yeah, everything. It's just a big thing in Australia for a new colony. You'd think it'd all be wood. You wouldn't think it'd all be metal.
That's true, actually. Have you ever Googled that? History
No.
of Australia corrugated iron. Because you're right, all the original settlers, all those buildings have corrugated iron on them. All right,
yeah, all of them. When we all the pictures, you know, all through what we were shown at school on that, see these guys out and they've got these, you know, wooden shacks, but they've all got corrugated iron roofs.
Okay, corrugated iron roofing was first invented by Henry Palmer, a British architect and engineer. It made its way across the seas to Australia, made its way on its flying machine to the seas across to Australia in the 1800s and gained popularity during the gold rush when construction and cheap materials were required. There's the old gold rush. So that's it. That's all. And in 1915, Australia started to use steel instead of iron.
So it just appeared. So we'll have to look into where the factories were. But that's an interesting sentence, isn't it? During the gold rush, when the construction and cheap materials were required.
Yeah, why were they cheap? They would have been so expensive
in that period. Yeah, but all those buildings are still standing.
That's true. So two things in that sentence. Yes.
How are they cheap materials?
Yes. So one thing is that we know the construction in the 1800s was actually not cheap at all, and they were the most extraordinary engineering feats ever. And two, like Howard getting shit sent over by boat from England or America cheap. How would that be cheap? How would that make corrugated iron cheap if it all had to come over on the boats? Hello? Corrugated iron's annoying. It's really heavy, actually.
Yeah, it's not easy to work with. And if they were somehow making it cheaply, and it was the first, it would have been the first industries, it would have, not been the best quality, but they're the best quality buildings we've got in the country. It's just, and of course, it was all, an architectural design competition, right? It's just.
Well,
it's just funny. It's just funny. It's just what?
So apparently corrugated iron first arrived in Australia in the 1850s. So let's see, Campbell, find me a picture of an original building pre-1850. Come on, let's have a look do it now.
Let's do it.
Galvanized iron only arrived in Australia in 1850. 1850.
All right, let's do
the
earliest photos of Australian cities or something. See what we get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's friggin' everywhere, so let's find it out.
It's just
all right.
Everywhere.
Oldest photo, first settler houses, Australia. All right. Is that corrugated iron or bark? Don't know. Can't tell. So there's bark.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's some bark. And those bark ones, the ones especially with the wood on the top of them.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen those till a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right.
Have you?
No, they're very.
Where did they come from? It was always corrugated iron.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
And,
early settlers. All right, go on, find it. Find me a photo pre-1850, 1894. Anyway, anyone in the audience listening to this, see if you can find some images from pre-1850s.
Let us know, guys. They've got to be out there, right? What's that one there?
Which one?
Images of a really white settlement. Is it a drawing? I think it's a drawing.
That's a drawing.
I think corrugated. It's hard to tell.
Oldest photos, Australia.
Maybe artwork might be
What's
a good one to go. Because this is the other thing, right? Is the story is photography invented 1827. The first kind of photos around the 1830s. So. It was really by the 1850s that it was kind of spreading out.
Yeah.
And if you look at the 1850s, that's where so much happened, right?
Yes.
All this stuff suddenly happened and was sprung up and that because before that, there's no photos, so we can't see if that stuff was before the 1850s or not.
Yeah.
There's no evidence, so that's a big, another big clue is. They just cut photography up. No, everything before that, that didn't exist. And so then they just say, clearly this was built then because we've got a photo of it existing then. But as we know, not many construction photos out there. all this
Very
weirdness.
few, very few, very few. All right, so basically, we have
we
got
don't know how old they are.
huh? No, go.
And we don't know how old the photos are anyway, right?
Exactly.
It's just
yeah.
a date written on them. We don't really know.
And look, there's so many programs now which we do know about where people are literally, algorithm like AI tech can make images. Like, have you seen? I think
Yes.
it was amazing. It was an amazing one that came out. Was it Mind? Who's the dude? Hang on, I'll get it for you. And like he did basically the history of humanity.
Oh,
He's on my sub list.
that
Hang
wasn't
on.
the last selfie taken on Earth.
Mind Unveiled.
Last
It's the channel's Mind Unveiled.
Oh, Mind Unveiled did it. Yeah.
And he did creating
I know Mind
images.
Unveiled.
And he did this thing here. Look, I'll just take away that. He made this using keywords that he put into an algorithm. Here, I'm going to show you. I just thought it was, and you know what, everyone, like this is honestly smoke an amazing big joint and sit back and watch this for 2 hours because it was really fun to watch. Like he's basically used this AI program, put in all the keywords of Tartaria and everything we know about history and anything we know about the essential timeline or all of our keywords. And the AI then creates the images, pulls up images all from all and creates this amazing, unbelievably journey. And I'll screen share. What's amazing about it is that they're not real. Like none of these images are real.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah. No, there's a few of them around. I've had a bit of a play. Actually, someone sent me a heap of them. I don't have the name in front of me though, but thank you. Oh.
Can you see that?
Cold vision. Ooh, I can.
Yeah. So
it's interesting because we've talked a lot about AI, right? And what is AI? And obviously artificial intelligence. And is there a bigger actual intelligent AI out there? Because this is asking what the AI knows, almost, isn't it?
Exactly.
What does it? So it can almost be asking, like, we can almost use it as a tool to maybe find out about the past, right? Maybe it'll show us because it's still in the memory banks.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's so interesting because, the work that it pulls up, it just feels like paintings and photography that we know in our minds that we have seen through the last 20 years, but then it's presented in such a narrative that it follows a chronological order about the history of our creation and how we got here and who we are and the destruction and the takeover and the demons and the agenda and the simulation and the matrix. And it's just an incredible use of this program. I was blown. Don't often get blown away, but I was blown away when I watched this. And I could honestly sit there and stare at it for, like all night, just on repeat, because it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
And it shows you that the AI, because in this, Campbell, at some point there's photographs that aren't real, but look just like our Tartarian world. Yeah. I'll see if I can it'll be right.
And so that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if we could pull that out. Yeah, is it?
All right, so
is obviously they're saying it's an AI, as in it's an algorithm, but is it connected to an actual intelligence that this, whatever we want to call it? Obviously people think that there's bad AI, but is there good AI as well, or is it just one and it's just our perception of it? But whatever it is, holy crap, look at that.
This is the Phoenix, very important.
It's got it in its memory bank. So is this literally pulling out memories from the AI?
Exactly.
Because look at that.
All right, so look at that.
Now, do you remember we had a look at that book?
Yes.
With all the star.
Yes.
Yeah. It's called The Book of Miracles. I found it.
Yes.
So we might have to have a look at that on a future episode because there is text that goes along with it.
So.
But oh my God, look at that mud. What? No, that's not AI, is it?
This is AI.
Serious? Holy crap.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, does that not just sort of feel like we're looking at the past?
I mean, it's insane. But if you watch,
Are we? Could
yeah,
we be?
exactly. If you watch this whole thing, and to the audience, if you watch this whole journey in chronological order, and it takes about 30 minutes, you'll be blown away. You will see in imagery what has been the narrative that we've all strung together and the dreaming we've all presented, putting it all into order, and to see it visually, quite amazing. You'll be amazed, and you'll be blown away, Cambell, at the images that aren't real.
That's wow. So basically everything in this video is AI generated, basically, what we're told. Incredible. And I mean, oh God. I mean, yeah, like so this could be pulling up literal memories, but then we've got to ask as well, all these photos that we get. I mean, look at this. They could have just created them.
Exactly.
Including construction photos, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Stuffed Beagles, he's actually got quite a few now of pictures that we're given as photos that have got the vanilla skies, and you can literally see where they cut through trees and cut people in half and cut the so we know there's all this manipulation. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I know, it's so fucking insane.
When we look at this, everything could be generated.
Yeah.
And in the end, I mean, it kind of is, right? And we kind of know that. And
look, I was listening to Archaic's, one of his latest ones, which, by the way, was also fantastic. Love that man's fucking mind, man. Like, and I love the fact that we get to the same place, roughly speaking, using our imagination, Cambell. I love that. Anyway, he was talking about, so he was talking about next year in 2023, according to his charts, we would have basically the internet's going to be taken down next year. It's going to be all about the internet. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. Like, we don't know how much of a shift that's going to be, and it really is going to strip. So if we live in a simulation, then the internet is basically giving us an insight into basically the brain of that simulation. Like, the internet is the thing that gathers all the information, gathers all the consciousness, documents all the consciousness, gathers all the history, holds all the thoughts, reads all the emails, reads all the texts, reads all consciousness expanding, reads all the questions, answers the questions, changes the image, changes history, changes reality, presents it. It's all happening on that. The internet's just given us basically like an insight, I guess, to the simulation. But ultimately, if this is a simulation, that internet's been there forever, and we've only just started to perceive it and interact with it. But if this is a simulation, then everything that's ever happened and has ever been, in at least from this reset onwards, and well, we could say from the all time, because like it's all held in our consciousness. And that's sort of like where I think they've managed to reshape, remold, and recreate history so effortlessly, because it's simulation. So it's all just done via the AI algorithms. You know, whether we had the technology to see it sort of in the 1800s, whether we had that technology, we didn't have it, so we couldn't see it, but it was still happening and laying out the algorithm of the simulation. Like, that's all fake.
I mean, it's just blowing my mind. Holy dolly. I mean, yeah, guys, this is all fake. So, I mean, how do we know what's real? You know, and there's all these arguments, but, you know, it's a photo, and, oh, look, this is a construction photo. And a lot of us for a long time have been saying, well, you know, how do we know that's not manipulated? How do we, you know, because, and we're saying that because when you look at the whole picture, the whole, everything that's across the realm, all the buildings, all the star forts, all the canals, all the star cities, everything, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So focusing on one building and saying, but look, this building has a construction photos, therefore that means everything in the whole realm was built as they say. That's ridiculous. But I think watching this, I mean, that's proof that whatever it is could be manipulated. Because what makes more sense is the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
These little, you know, when you focus on these little anomaly things, I mean, yeah, they just don't fit. But I mean, this is just ridiculous. They could do anything with this. They
Look,
look like real people. I mean, well, they got masks on. What's going on in their faces? But
yeah, I mean the program does that to their faces. So, but if those photos were just out independently, people would be like, oh my God, you know, what's going on with their faces? Like there's a whole like story behind this, but actually the AI's just done it. You know, when we see those spirit photos from the sort of late 1800s where the like ghosts are in the machine, like, hello, this so easily could have been that.
Freak shows.
Yep.
Freak shows. Seriously, I mean, some of those faces are literally like what you see in the freak shows, are different heights and weird bodies and stuff. And and I mean, if this is what he's done, you know, I mean, he wouldn't have spent more than a week on this, right? Imagine what, you know, if you put a year into it, what you get out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So I mean, and this technology is available. We'll put a link to this under the show tonight because it's so worth checking out. And of course, the channel is amazing anyway. I mean, he blows my mind. He's just amazing work, and it's really high produced work, very high produced.
Sun and moon.
Yeah, and then we start. And so if you watch this from the beginning, you start seeing like the history and how it changes things. And then there's resets and suns and portals and things changing things. Hello, look at our theory with the sun and what that is. And then it sort of goes into the artwork of portals and new timelines. And it's like,
pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty fucking cool. Into Terminator.
Interesting, right?
Into AI.
So has this whole internet thing for the last 30 years or whatever just been collecting information for the next age, right? For the next simulation.
Yeah,
right? What
exactly.
does everyone want? What's everyone thinking? Collect it all, then internet disappears and boom, something new gets projected, and that's the new age. Who knows?
So I've just taken it back, and it's gone to, and then in the side up here it says what this is. So that's Atlantis, images of Atlantis, and then the collapse of Atlantis, and then how that moved into a reset timeline, and fucking awesome. So you know how last session we were talking about, did the show on dreaming, and you know I was like, what the fuck is dreaming? And like I really want to do some more deep dive on the dreaming things because I'm fascinated, Campbell. Like we know nothing about flying machines. We know nothing about dreaming, and why it happens, how it happens, what is happening, where it comes from, what we go to, where we know nothing about dreaming. So I'm really engaged in this dreaming concept. And then when I look at this sort of application, I actually think the program's called the Dream Machine. I think it's actually called something to do with dreams. And I see the dreaming transferred onto like imagery. I'm just like, wow, as we talk about lucid dreaming and accessing the dream world and understanding the dream world, and then technology like this is coming out that we can actually integrate into those concepts. Like it's almost like this is almost like a step closer to understanding what the fuck dreams are. You know, do you know what I mean? Like it's like the program itself is letting us enter that doorway a little bit. Thought.
Yeah, I thought, you know, because I mean, this is all very dream world kind of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
And talking about dreams, guys, keep your dreamy eyes open for some dreamy projects. dreamy
we got right into the
coming up from Tartaria Australia. We're going to help you lucid dream your way, because this is what's happening, right? If they do shut down the internet, we need to make sure that everyone's ready to join us in the lucid dreaming podcast, right?
I know. We had this really
we have solutions.
fun conversation of like, imagine if Campbell, JC, and I could actually master lucid dreaming enough to wake up in the lucid dreaming space and actually do a podcast within the lucid dreaming. And we were like, fucking mind blown. And then we and imagine if the audience got into it and we could actually have a live event within the lucid dreaming spectrum. Fuck, that would be amazing. And I don't think anyone's ever tried to do something so crazy. So, but you know, good ideas from new
That's
questions.
really into the net, man. Yeah, exactly right. If it can't be imagined, then it can't be done. You gotta.
Yeah.
Everything's created twice, right? First in here, then out there.
Yeah. So
then in here in this instance.
I'm pumped about that. I think the dreaming side of things I want to talk about a lot more. I want to sort of bridge it in. If anyone's got any insight into, there was some amazing comments last week after that show. I read them all. And so dreams were actually mentioned in the Bible, but not in any sort of significant understanding of what they are or what their purpose is or what happens to us or why it happens. And if dreaming was always a thing, or it's just like a signature of a reset, or if it's just a shadowing of our real life. I mean, there's so many ways to look at it, and it really is under discussed and under explored.
Yeah.
And I really believe it's, a doorway to understanding who we are. But Cambell.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone who left all those comments. And yeah, we do, acknowledge that they do mention dreams in these books, but they don't go into it as far as, these books are supposed to be about how to live your life and the laws and all this kind of stuff, but they don't mention the significance of dreams. They just kind of mention dreams. Every now and again, there's a dream that's interpreted for a particular person, but it doesn't talk about what the dream world or the dream state is. That's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah. So, hey, Cambell, just so we were deep diving a little bit there into the Northern Rivers. Just to summarize that, we've got off track, of course. Sorry, everyone.
I know. How did that happen?
So basically, in summary, is that most of those townships have Tartarian structures, that they were channeling a lot of water, and as a result of potentially filling in those canals is why we get such strong floodplains, even though the Tartarian culture actually built strong buildings on those locations. So when they were built, obviously it was functioning well with the flow of the water, right?
Sorry, I'll just go through these and keep talking.
Yeah. Oh, Rockhampton.
These are all Rockhampton, yeah.
That's a whole other world. Oh my God, Rockhampton, way up the top of Australia, has so many amazing Tartarian structures. The whole thing is Tartarian. It's insane. I'm actually going to be talking live in Rockhampton on November the 20th. If anyone's tuning in from there, we're taking it a community event in Rockhampton. I know, random.
What are you doing, Kelly? God, you're taking a speaking show on the road.
at the show I did in Norfolk Island, some amazing chicks.
Okay.
Call out to the amazing chicks. They got very excited and said, look, come to Rockhampton. We want you to talk. We'll organize it. And I said, if you can organize it, then I'll come. So I'm going.
Ooh, yeah, this guy.
Cambell, you should fly in if you want to.
Legs out.
You should, yeah. Oh my God, that's unusual. That's weird. Oh, because of the water.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. You never see
looks
that.
Like a doctor or something.
That's funny.
His decks. And is that? Yeah. Look at this. These are tram lines in the ground.
Yeah. Rockhampton is a whole show unto itself. I swear.
Yeah. When is it? November.
Yeah.
November.
If we can sell out, you should.
Rockhampton.
Yeah, same gig. We're doing it. 100 people.
If they want me, they might not want me, Cal.
Mate, everyone wants you. Everyone wants you, Cal.
Yeah, I mean,
you're the old man of Tartaria. Yeah, no, we're selling the tickets on our website. So,
well,
I think
we could make an awesome video while we were there, couldn't we?
Yeah, let's fly you up, Cambell. That's it. It's been decided. Cambell's coming to Rockhampton.
Oh.
It's happening.
All right.
We'll work it out. Yeah, I think good idea. We should do a proper podcast on Rockhampton. It'll be really hot. You'll love it.
When's the date?
Look at that.
What's the date?
20th of November.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm free. I'm coming.
He's coming. We're going to Rockhampton or Yeppoon, one of them. But it's so many million structures up there. So that area has a really interesting history. It wasn't just some random thing. And did you know that Byron Bay?
This photo.
Yeah. Wow, mud flooded, man.
How clean does this not look like the day after the cleanup finished.
Yeah, like it's been vacuumed.
Like it's been, yeah. Look, even look at all the roofs, man. They're all clean.
Yep.
The streets look like they've been swept, covered in mud, but like they've been swept, and everything's,
Looks
got this nice
perfect.
little edge on it. It's perfect. Got a couple, not many people there, but you serious?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
like
perfect.
that looks like the photo of like send it to the boss. Okay, is this town ready to have the people come in? You know, just that spun me out. But of course, look at these buildings, right?
Yeah.
Poking out the top, but they try and make it look like everything is just these low, shock things. That's sorry, what were you saying?
No. I don't know what I was saying, but Rockhampton's fascinating. And I was about to tell you about Byron Bay. I didn't know this about Byron Bay, but Byron Bay has a really fucking shitty history since we got there. It was basically the number one whale fishing place in Australia, and actually responsible for basically making the humpback whale here in Australia almost extinct. Was the history of Byron Bay, and the history, and then it went on to be like one of the largest exports of pigs and cattle. So basically, Byron Bay's underbelly frequency is of slaughtering major sentient beings. I mean, the whales, major traumatic. So I didn't know that. Now it's a major spiritual center.
Interesting. Yeah,
But
I didn't
is
know
it?
about the whales.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yeah, exactly right. and is that maybe why they're trying to get people out of there, because they don't like the that nice hippie energy, right?
Yeah. They're really attacked.
The Rockhampton River. Is it a river in Northampton? Oh, sorry, Rockhampton.
Yeah, I think so. I've never been there. I don't know it.
Man-made canal. But look at these Tartarian building there. One here.
Yeah.
These.
Oh, there's so many.
Big man-made canal, huh?
Yeah.
It's just okay, let's do it. We're doing.
Look at that. Oh, I think that's where we're talking. I think that's a building we're talking in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I think that's the one they're aiming to get to, but I mean, no promises, because when I promise a venue, it fucks out always.
Custom house.
Yeah, custom house.
How long do you reckon it took to build this?
1 year, mate. 1 year for sure. 1 year. Custom house. That mirrors the one in Brisbane almost identically. Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Built 1899 to 1900.
Yeah. 1 year.
On a floodplain.
1 year,
with no electric power tools.
And Rockhampton's really far up in Australia. Like, it's not like it's connected to any major centre. It's far up. So they would have had to.
Way north.
Yeah. So
I'm going to have a look on the Googles of Earth. There might be. It looks like.
I think you should.
It looks very much like there should be a star around there somewhere.
Yeah, find us a star for it, Cambell. That would be awesome.
Oh, find it before we get there, and we can go and hunt for it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I've climatized to the heat here and won't suffer so badly there. I'm definitely forcing myself to be in the hot humidity right now. So, hey, all right, well, that's it. Great. So in November 20th, we're going to Rockhampton, a little community event. Autodidact is going to fly in and we'll take it away from there. He's excited, man. Woo.
There you go.
All right.
There you go. So we'll let you know if there's any more tickets available.
Yeah. I don't think we've started selling them yet.
So this is, well, there you go.
Yeah. It's brand new.
Well, there you go. Now that I'm on board, we're going to sell an extra 2 for sure.
We'll sell an extra 50.
Look at this dress, right? This is this is Rockhampton, like you said.
Yeah.
Tropical hot. Look what they're all wearing.
And Rockhampton's fucking in the middle of it's so far away. So far. And look, they had trams. So far away, and they have fucking trams. What? Rockhampton's going to be a good deep dive. Yeah.
I think so. There we go.
So,
all right. Well, that was interesting.
So, buddy, I'm going to have to bail because we're going to do Rocky. Yeah. All right. Good. I'm going to have to bail because my family's going to be back soon, and they're going to just like any one of us in this shared environment that speaks out loud, it's like 100 amp volumed up, because it's basically an amplifying tin box. So it's going to be very inconducive to focusing on anything outside of that. So I don't think so. I would have look, one last thing I want to do.
We need the Kelly cabin. So if anyone's got a Kelly cabin hanging around or something that
I know, I need a Kelly office. I need a Tartarian office. If anyone has a portable building they want to donate. Okay, oldest building heritage Gold Coast. I just have to look.
Okay, yeah, the Gold Coast. So we'll have to look at on Google, because when I was looking at Miami, very similar to the Gold Coast. And when you look at the Gold Coast, you know, all these canals and that, you know, I think a lot of those are dug out old canals. I think, you know, it's not all of them, but it seems to have a big seawall up there as well. And it's just, it looks like Miami.
Yeah, okay, well, let's do that, because the Gold Coast is a bit of an enigma. Obviously, there's
you love these.
Definitely mud flooded.
I love these pictures. See the first one? Like the first one in the corner, like a heritage listed. It's like this massive, you know, 2-story brick and mortar building. And then the next one's like oldest building. And it's like a little wooden hut. It's like, but they're both the oldest building. What?
Sorry,
what the hell?
That's my phone.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There's some Gold Coasty.
Oh, nice old church. And of course, Gold Coast, when I was in there in 1988, my age, they had the World's Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, the World Expo.
Oh, that was
1988.
Technically, that was Brisbane Campbell.
Oh, Brisbane. Oh, sorry, it was Brisbane. Yeah, no, you're correct.
Yeah. But this structure here, I was there too, Campbell. We were little babies at Expo 88.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mate, I got my little passport with all the stamps in. All right, well, look, this building's interesting. Where's that? That's in Southport. So that's pretty cool. Can you see that?
Blacksmith's Daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a book? Okay. Something House Sound. Yeah, that's a nice old house. And that one, I mean, yeah, God, we'd have to have a look, because in Queensland they have a lot of these, you know, the wooden looking buildings, right? They're all these. I wonder if they actually are wood though, because I've seen photos of wooden buildings and underneath the wood it's brick. It's just a facade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right. And when you look at a building like this, why would they be building buildings like this, big solid, you know, masonry buildings, and then at the same time building really big but just wooden, like completely different buildings? It's you know, in a new town, to do that you need double the industries, right?
Yep, exactly.
Instead of your bricks and mortar, you then need a lumber industry, and you need all the carpenters and you know, so doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Like we would have been like hard pushed just to like get one industry up and running, really.
Exactly. And that's what you would do, because as well as building these cities, I mean, the main thing is, you know, people needed to eat. You know, and this is the thing. Australia, you know, they tell us founded by English people. Man, England, you can't grow English vegetables in Australia, right? The completely different climate, like all the food thing is just massive, you know. So people wouldn't have been out there worrying about bloody, let's go and, you know, we need brick buildings and mortar, you know. If they're starving, they'd be get the food sorted, and look, we've got a hut to live in, and then once the food's sorted, then we can start building big, you know, we'll have more time. But
exactly,
it'd all be about farms, food, animals.
Exactly. That's a really good point, because, you know, like no seeds from England would have climatized to this environment, you know, like it would have been only pockets at different seasons that would have been able to grow in this intense heat and sun. Very different from England. So yeah, I mean, it's true, like even getting the first sort of heritage seeds or crops up and running would have been a massive task. Massive. Although having said that, the soil was richer, but it still would have been a massive task.
But also, and it all needed to be cleared, right?
Yep, absolutely.
They needed to create the
Yep.
fields,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Yep.
And then, of course, when they're doing that, what do you get when you clear a field, right? You get a ton of wood. So if they're doing that and they've got all this free wood, what are they doing? Building brick buildings.
Yep.
Again, it's just another part that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't make sense.
And
at
it was
all.
really, I didn't show this, I've lost it, but I was looking at what town was it? Maybe it was Grafton, one of the Northern River towns. And you know, I know it was Lismore. And it's like the whole street's like built. It's all built out. It's like 1890, all built. And then right beside it is a man collecting was it collecting something, basically tying it up with rope and putting it on this wooden like wagon with an ox. And it's just like the shift in that presentation, it's like the man with the ox and the wooden wagon and the built out buildings all behind him. It's like, yeah. Because really transportation should have grown alongside the industry's growing. Like obviously the more you need to transport, the more you develop your transportation.
Exactly. The industries can only grow as far as the transportation will take it, right? Because like you can't start producing bigger bricks and heavier things if you can't move them.
Exactly.
And then to do that, you need big cars, but then you need roads, right? And then you need, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's just this big progression, but we don't see that.
Because that's a natural evolution.
We just see this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. That's like the natural progression of our evolution, you know? Like you create something, then you ask a new question, like, how do we do this now? And how do we do this now? And how do we do this now? Like, and it grows with like what you're able to create. So we don't see that. We see humanity operating at a very basic stone man level, like caveman level, with his like can't shit anywhere and has no actual power or transport. And then we've got all the cities built out. So yeah, I agree. It's a
and cities can only grow as fast as the populations that they can support, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing is we get these, you know, like the gold rush is a perfect example. In Melbourne, right, we're told that these cities like doubled their populations in like 10 years because people found gold. What?
Yeah.
What would double a population would be an agricultural boom, not finding gold. Because as we've said before, finding gold does not turn into food, because if there's no food industry, who are you buying food from?
Yeah.
Right. If everyone's out there digging for gold, who's growing the food? Where are they getting all? And that's the problem, right? They want us to believe that if you find gold, suddenly you can have whatever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, I need food, and it just falls from the sky.
Like a magic genie.
You need someone to buy
like
it
a genie in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gold mine bottle. Yeah. And you know, like little pixie comes out of the gold. Hi, I'm the leprechaun of the Australian gold. What is your wish, oh master?
Yeah. Oh, you want an advanced civilization? Bing, there you go.
Yeah, it's true.
Give me your gold.
All right, Campbell. So I have to wrap it up because
yes.
So everyone, reminder. Yeah, I'm so dirty and sunburned. I'm about to go back out there. So guys, Brisbane next weekend, Saturday. It's going to be cool. We're going to have some fun. Come. I'm going to really enjoy spending some time with you. Campbell's going to love zooming in and answering your questions. And JC's going to, and she's a bit sick at the moment. So like, if she can, you know, like focus in on the show, that's really great of her. And thank you, JC. We know that it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard when you're sick. And that's sort of the update, and look, links below to that amazing 30-minute clip from Mind Unveiled. You guys will really enjoy it. And yeah, anything you'd like to end the show on, Campbell?
Yeah, remember there are 20, there's still 20 or so tickets left, so link for the tickets below as well. Obviously give us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, share this work around, let everyone know about it. And what we would we were looking for comments for something. I can't remember though. So that looks like that's it. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled for lots of things. We're going to teach you how to lucid dream and get the lucid dreaming podcast going. And it looks like I'm going to Northern Queensland.
Rockhampton.
Woo.
He's flying
Yeah,
Rocky.
no, I'm glad. It's going to be warm. It's going to
Very
be warm.
I'm
I'm going to be
scared.
able to survive. I almost died in Melbourne.
He was too cold.
We're the opposite. I'm scared to go to Melbourne and you're scared to go to the warm.
Yeah, I know. We're inverted.
I'll have to like meet them.
All right, everyone.
Awesome.
Well, that was a gentle
All right,
little
well, there we
cruisy
go.
chat. Yep. We didn't, no big
It was.
reveals, but it was fun to have a look at Australia again and ground ourselves back into some building talk because, you know, Cambell and I would go off on woo, la, 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 tangents out there, floating around in the ether through the simulation.
We tried to talk about history, God. We tried. We got a little bit going.
We got it. All right. Well, you can cover it all in. You can drip it all in photos as we're talking, Cambell, and like bring up the quality. All right.
Yes, so all this amazing editing you've just seen was me.
Yeah. Good on Cambell. Round of applause. He's our producer and does all the editing of our shows. I don't know if you guys know that, but all the intros and all the photos and all the editing, that is all Cambell's great work. All the music, anything that goes on. He's always does a really excellent job. So that's sort of the collab between us. He does all the editing. Yeah.
Kelly does all the artwork.
Yeah.
And of course jumps in and creates miracles when we lose venues.
Mate, expertise is mine.
Part-time miracle worker.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. All right, everyone. We love you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch up next week. One more show before Brisbane. And I'll see you all in Brisbane, whoever's coming. Woohoo!
Woohoo, stay awesome.